Guys, welcome to, well, as I said in the title, I figured do something for a little fun. Troodon. Alright, so while we're waiting on that, nah. Okay. Let's see. Ah, yes, Troodons are ready. Sorry. Get these little guys ferried over.
Asset being transported. Heading to pick up the asset.
Then we'll get 2 more popping.
Transportation underway. Commencing asset transit. Transporting asset.
Nope. Come on.
Asset has been delivered. We are pleased to welcome a Troodon to the park. Asset transportation complete.
Ah, damn it, come.
Asset delivered. Asset transported.
Come here, you little bastard. Oh, you little... Calm down. Okay.
Asset new air.
Okay, now let's get you shipped over.
Picking up asset.
Still need to figure out what I'm gonna do here. Maybe we could... Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Commencing asset transit.
Oh no, did not mean to do that. Coastal.
Asset delivery confirmed.
No, go back down. There it is.
Asset has been transported.
There we go. So I need at least 4. That'd probably work. So, go to feeders. 1 there. 1 there. And 1 over here. Take a swig. How's everybody doing? So far, so good.
Asset to be collected. We are pieces of rubber to drag a wreck into the park. Asset required collection. Transportation.
Move these little dudes over.
Heading to pick up the asset. Asset in the air. Asset has been transported. Transportation complete. Picking up asset.
Alright, Packy.
En route to pick up the asset. Asset has been collected.
Shut up, world.
Heading to collect the asset. Asset transportation in progress.
Oh, go back. Now let's edit the tour.
Asset transportation underway.
Ah, no, come on. Hello, Stiggy Moloch.
Asset delivery express. It's a park.
shoot, I missed.
Handing over the wheel. Acknowledging asset collection request. We are pleased to welcome Sticky Mullet to the park. Collecting asset.
Okay, so get them going.
Asset in transit.
Just moving some, just kind of working on the park. I kind of got a head start on this last night, so just kind of picking up where I left off. Like, this was the first exhibit. We're building in the I'm building in the Jurassic Park era. And this, we got a few Corythosaurus, some Parasaurs, a pair of Mamenchisaurs, and a trio of Brax. And over here, where the tour starts, we have a pair of Acros. Oh, hang on, I gotta go collect these other two Sticky Molochs first. Hello, Stiggy. Really hoping we get to see this dinosaur again in Dominion. But that's just me. Shoot it with the science!
Confirming asset delivery. En route to collect the asset.
You definitely should do, but only when you actually have the money or the time to do it. Not trying to pressure you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome Sticky Mullet to the park. Delivery complete. Asset collection request received.
Okay. And just because I want to fill up that ankylosaur, well, one of the ankylosaur enclosures I've got going. Well, thanks, man. Not trying to be a show off, I swear. Now let's go with the jungle Euoplocephalus, just because it'll fit in with better. So anyway, picking up where I left off, we have a pair of Acrocanthosaurus in here. Love this dinosaur. Opposite of them, we have a trio of Herrerasaurus. Over here, we have a pair of Metriacanthosaurus. Love this dinosaur, too. I love all the dinosaurs in this game, I honestly do. Here we have a trio of Nodosaurus. Thanks, man. Over here, we have a little pack of Troodons, aka the creepiest dinosaur in JP lore. And if you've seen gameplay of Jurassic Park, the game from Telltale, you know why. Over here we have a Pachycephalosaur enclosure, which includes Sticky Moloch, which we're getting the last two over here. So cute and deadly. Yes, they are. We have a group of Pachycephalosaurus itself. And we have a little trio of Dracorex in here too. And oh my god, these two are like fused into each other. Not trying to sound like I'm complaining when I say this, but Frontier, for Jurassic World Evolution 2, or whatever you end up calling the sequel, please make Dinosaur Collision a thing, because, see, like, again, I'm not trying to complain, but when you see dinosaurs phasing into each other, like phasing through or into each other like that, it just kind of breaks the immersion. Not so much a complaint, just a request. And our Uoplos are almost done. Get out of my bubble. Exactly, Nick. Still not bad for a game made in about less than a year. No, I completely agree. I completely agree, dude. This game is amazing, and it's come a long way. It's just, again, there are some things that could still be improved upon, is all I'm saying. Just little tweaks, like, again, dinosaur collision being a thing. So, get these guys moved over here. Oh, shoot. I keep forgetting. Cool thing about Euoplocephalus is this guy was actually in the first Jurassic Park novel by Michael Crichton. We never actually see them in the book, but yes, we never actually see Euoplocephalus in the novel, but they actually coexist alongside Triceratops and Styracosaurus in their enclosure. Come on. Oh, nope. About to put you in the Packy enclosure. That would have been bad. That would have been very bad. Speaking of Packies... Oh, nope. Come on. I think that one's busted its neck. Sure looked like it, didn't it? There we go. I have the part closed off just so I can do this a little easier, because I want to have everything looking as good as I can make it. Now for this exhibit, I'm thinking of putting in another large carnivore. What do you guys think? And while I'm doing that, I'm just gonna, since I'm not using this space back here, we're just gonna cover everything with trees.
Asset transportation complete.
Alright, a large carnivore it is. The question is, which one do I want? Well, actually, I think I already have an idea which one I want, so... Take off hatchery capacity. Let's go with the Giga. We'll go with an alternate skin because I want to. Which one? Give me a second, guys, while I pull out my phone real quick. Sorry. I'm not going to pause this just because I don't want to pause the recording. So, which alternate skin for the Giga do we want to go with? There's no arid, rainforest, taiga, tundra. Tell you what, why don't we get a little crazy? We'll do an... Ooh. Oh, that's not what I want to do. We'll do an arid one. And we'll also do a taiga one, because I like the taiga pattern. It's pretty cool. Alright. So now let's just get this habitat all set up for them. actually, one thing we could do to... This is a good way if you... little tip I learned. If you really want to make your water sources for your dinosaurs a little more unique looking, is just basically use the path like this. Sorry. Then oh shoot, did not mean to do that. Dang it! Come on. There we go, that's better. Sweet, dude. Go with a little bit of grassland. Mix with a little bit of crag. Oh, this is just in case you're wondering. In case anybody's wondering, this is in Sandbox, by the way. I wouldn't say they're sick of it, dude. I like the big tree. My favorite rock. And you know what? Let's put a few of the little palm trees in here. Just to kind of liven up the exhibit a little bit. Now we'll go into feeders. Well, to be fair, buddy, you have just recently started playing the game, so it takes a little getting used to, is all. My park started out very vanilla as well, so don't feel too bad. It just takes a lot of trial and error, is all. Ah, sweet, the gigas are done. Oh, and by the way, because this is just as a FYI, because this is a sandbox park, I've turned off the, actually, hang on, I'll show you real quick. Go to sandbox settings. I disabled the habitat requirements just to make this a little easier on me. Gotta start somewhere. Yes, you do, Nick. Alright, guys. Let's get Giganotosaurus moved into its new home. Well, let's get the Gigas, I should say, because we got two of them, don't we? Oh man, look at that arid skin. It looks so badass. Oh, the buddy. No, that's very true. And there's the Tygus Giga. Raptors are easily provoked. I learned that the hard way. Oh, don't worry. We're going to get some raptors in here eventually.
Asset transportation underway.
There we go. That looks better. Yeah, knock on wood, buddy. So, go back to the tour real quick. Famous last words. Damn it, Nick, don't jinx it. No, come on. Yeah, I was not liking the way that was looking. Yeah, that's better.
Asset has been delivered.
Oh. Let's check out how these guys are doing. I ain't making an indie anytime soon. Probably a good idea. Oh man, look how beautiful that looks. This guy was essentially the T-Rex of South America around 90 million years ago. And how's your friend doing? I know, right, Nick? Little fun fact, even though I know most people probably know this, but the Giganotosaurus actually, the DNA of this dinosaur was actually used in the creation of the Indominus Rex. If Grimlock could be any other large theropod, what would it be? That's a hard... Dude, I mean, that's hard one, admittingly. I mean, for me, I just prefer Grim being a T-Rex. I mean, yeah, I know T-Rex is like the most overrated dinosaur ever, but I don't care. But if I had to pick another one, I think maybe the Giga could be a close second. There we go. What about a Carnotaurus? Oh, that'd be cool, but honestly, if we were to get a Carnotaur Dinobot, I'd kind of prefer it to be an original character, if I'm going to be honest. That's just my opinion, though. Alright, guys. So now we can properly put in the signs for this one. No, I'm not liking the way that's looking. No. Okay. Let's try this again. Sauropod. What about Slag as a Nazuto? That would actually be interesting. No, come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Speaking of the Nazuto, here's hoping... I'm really excited that we're going to get to see more of that dinosaur in Dominion when that comes out. The Mamenchisaurus. Yes. Oh, guys. Interesting news regarding the Mamenchisaurus. This dinosaur was just recently teased as possibly appearing in Season 2 of Camp Cretaceous, or at the very least, at some future point in Camp Cretaceous. Somebody in Poland recently posted images of this. You can probably find them online. But somebody in Poland posted on, I believe it was either their Facebook or Instagram, photos of dinosaur profile things for camp that were for promoting Camp Cretaceous. Yeah, that's where I heard it from too, Nick. They showcased the Velociraptor, which obviously we know Blue's probably going to come back in Season 2. They showcased the Triceratops, which interestingly was absent from the first season of Camp Cretaceous. Here's hoping we'll see it in Season 2. And the third was for the Mamenchisaurus. I just want more bumpy. Agreed. But yeah, I'm really excited about the Mamenchisaurus in particular, though, fellas, because we haven't seen this dinosaur in the film canon for the Jurassic series since The Lost World, during the roundup scene. Once that biker goes under the sauropod's underneath the sauropod in between its legs, that's the last time we see of it, which is kind of sad because it's a really cool-looking dinosaur. I mean, yeah, you look at this, it's obviously not scientifically accurate, but again, we've kind of come to expect that from Jurassic dinosaurs, I feel, haven't we? But yeah, speaking of bumpy, one thing that, well, that's neither far talk. Well, that's not true, because we technically do see the Packy make a cameo, a very brief cameo in Jurassic World, when Claire steps into the control room for the first time. You see it up on the screen with when Vivian and Lowry are looking over the park. So technically, the Packy does make a return in Jurassic World, but it's a very blink and you'll miss it kind of cameo. I really hope we get to see that dinosaur come back in Dominion, just because I think a lot of fans of the second movie, myself included, would really love to see that dinosaur come back, just because it's one of the most memorable new additions from The Lost World. What are your thoughts on Lystrosaurus teaser for Dominion? Oh, Nick, I am so glad you asked. I'm excited for it. Like, the first non-Mesozoic era creature to appear in a Jurassic movie, it just opens the door for possibilities. It really, truly does. Like, I was really surprised that they would tease that, but it's like, honestly, okay, not trying to sound like I'm crapping on the original JP trilogy, but in many ways, I love what Colin Trevorrow has been doing. Tom, Lystrosaurus, actually, believe it or not, it's not a dinosaur. It's a mammal-like reptile that existed long before the dinosaurs, during the early, I believe it was either the early or mid-Triassic. So it was it existed several million years before the first dinosaurs had showed up. What do we want to do? Because we still got so much space. Lived in the Permian era too and survived the Great Dying. Yes, it did. Which not many creatures did. It has to be said. Not a lot of creatures actually survived the mass extinctions that took place. Oh wow, our dinosaur rating is really good. But it must be better! yeah, so I'm really excited that Lystrosaurus is a dinosaur we will possibly be seeing more of in... Well, not a dinosaur. It's a creature we'll be seeing in the upcoming film. I think that is so friggin' cool. Spared no expense. Yes, it did. Yes, I am. Now I am John Hammond. There were dozens of mass extinctions before the dinosaurs had theirs. That is very true. Extinction is just a natural part of life. Except for... Although it's really more tragic with... not to get too real into this, but it's more... Extinctions are more tragic when they're caused by... And I'm not trying to sound nihilistic when I say this, but when they're man-made. Like so many creatures that we have driven into extinction. When... I mean, to be fair, we've come a long way since then, and we are trying to make up for the mistakes of the past. There were 5 mass extinctions: Ordovician, Devonian, Permian, Triassic, and Cretaceous. That's correct. And technically there were... come on. Tree! Have you seen Nedry? No, Mr. Dodson, I can't say I have. Hey, wait a minute. What the hell are you doing in my stream? Get out of here. Somebody call the police. We got Dodson. We have Dodson here. I've been waiting 27 years for those embryos. Nice hat. What are you trying to look like, a secret agent? Hashtag clone the dodo. Ah, no offense, dude, but after seeing Ice Age, with how stupid dodos could be, I don't know. I don't think that's one. I think that animal's a lost cause. I'm just saying. That being said, I wouldn't mind having a pet dodo. There goes our last female. Mammoths would be interesting, but I mean to be fair, we know that realistically we have a better chance at bringing back Cenozoic creatures than we do Mesozoic and older. Clone mammoth. Bleep, damn it. Come on. There we go. Or terror birds. Ooh, I don't know, dude. Terror birds, it's like that. I think that'd be a scary prospect, since again, like as you just said, that's kind of the closest thing we have in terms of prehistoric animals we have to a raptor, and it's like, I mean, it sounds cool to have, but keep in mind these things could chase you and I down with no problem, and that's a scary prospect, my friend. Sorry guys, I'm just taking a second to try and figure out what I want to do next. Ooh, I know. That Dodson is going to return in Jurassic World Dominion. Oh yeah, he is. He totally is. Although, I don't think he's going to be played by the same guy who played him in the original film, because Cameron Thor, the actor who played him, you know, he did some very naughty things, shall we say. Just hope they don't F up his character. I don't think they will, because Colin Trevorrow has really been doing his hardest to pull a lot more from the Crichton novel. So I think we are very much going to see... I mean, because, like, you look at Mills in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom... Mills was like a mix between Dodson from the Lost World novel and with a little bit of Peter Ludlow from the Lost World movie. Wait till the astronomer meets the astronaut. Yeah, Owen and Dr. Grant meeting. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun. I honestly cannot wait for that. But yeah, I mean, we saw how far Mills was willing to go just to get what he wanted. The fact that he openly killed, well, not openly, but you get what I mean. Like the fact that he was perfectly okay with killing, Benjamin Lockwood. So. I just love that Dodson looked so innocent in the original movie. Well, to be fair, in many ways, they were taking what Crichton had done in the first book with him in that regard. And that, because remember, with the second novel, Crichton basically had to, Michael Crichton had to basically expand upon Dodson's character, and oh my, did he expand on him, because Dodson is just not a very nice dude. So, again, I don't think we're going to have too much... I don't think we have anything to worry about them fudging up his character. Like, I think Dodson, when we see him in Dominion, is going to make Eli Mills look tame in comparison. I mean, Mills was a bad dude, but Dodson's going to make him look like a chihuahua, in my opinion, because, again, if you've read the novels or know anything about the novels, you know that Lou Dodson is not a very nice way. Best way to sum up Dr. Malcolm. I told you so. That's one way of putting it. How's everybody doing? How everybody doing over here? Sorry. No, you're not wrong. Alright. Get the hatchery capacity going, because I already know what I want in this next pen. Nope, go up. Deinonychus. I love this dinosaur in this game. It looks weird. But I think that kind of makes it... I think that's part of its charm, personally. They also mentioned that Malcolm is going to be super antagonistic. Oh, he probably more than likely is, but I don't think he's going to be like so... I agree, dude. But, like, I mean... I know a lot of people didn't like Malcolm's stance in Fallen Kingdom, but to be fair, again, this is kind of me playing devil's advocate, because I know the character both from the novels and the films. Malcolm has always made clear where he stands regarding the dinosaurs. They are, as Grant said in JP3, they are genetically engineered theme park monsters. Nothing more, nothing less. What InGen did was essentially raping the natural world. So he's always made very clear where he stands in regards to the dinosaurs, especially given that, you know, the possibility of that the means to create them going open source. Like, that's not something to joke about. And unfortunately, at the end of Fallen Kingdom, because of Mill's stupidity and greed, yeah, that stuff now has gone open sourced. So it's like, what we're seeing essentially is everything that was mentioned in the lunchroom scene in the first movie is now, in Dominion, it looks like, is now all going to be coming to fruition. You know, this genetic power has now gone open sourced. He's pragmatic and logical. Sure, he comes off as a dick, but... Well, no, but... Again, this is going to be me playing devil's advocate on this one. Like, yeah, in many ways, both Malcolm and Owen and Claire's viewpoints, neither of them are really right, but neither of them are really wrong either. See, this is what makes the introduction of Maisie. Clayton Faridi talked about this. Yeah, it's all good, dude. We're all just having a chill day here. But like, Maisie's introduction in Fallen Kingdom with her being a clone makes things very interesting because, in many ways, Maisie is kind of the ambassador to, she's kind of the ambassador to the dinosaurs in a weird kind of way, given that she herself is a clone. Maisie's freeing of the dinosaurs at the end of Fallen Kingdom is basically, it all ties, Clayton Faridi talked about this, and I agree with it, because it all fits in with the Jurassic series theme of, at the end of Fallen Kingdom, that the dinosaurs' right to survive shouldn't be controlled. And no, it shouldn't be. Now, yes, there are going to be consequences in the wake of all this. But again, that's why I say this is all coming full circle, essentially, because this is something that man in this universe has been dodging since 1993. And now it's all coming to fruition. It's like you can't ignore it anymore. So yeah, Malcolm is very much going to be opposed to people like Owen and Claire, but at the same time, I'm interested to see how he's going to feel about about the existence of someone like Maisie, who she herself being a clone and all. She was sort of the fallout between Ben and John. That she was, and again, I thought that was interesting. I was so glad that they didn't make Lockwood a bad guy. I was so glad for that. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. The director said that they're gonna cast Sam Jackson again, which makes zero sense because his character died in Jurassic Park 1. Well, unless maybe it's like supposed to be like maybe a flashback scene or something. Because I haven't heard any news on that one, though. I haven't heard any news on that, dude. So that's interesting. Like, part of me kind of wants to think that could just be... that could just be just a rumor. It could just be one of those bollocks rumors that we think is true, but it's not. Ah, Deinonychus. Am I the only one that thinks the crest on the Deinonychus in this game makes it look like a cassowary? Hold on to your butts. His most famous line from that movie, and I think he says it like a total of like 3 times, I think. You little bastard. Come on. I want to move it.
Picking up asset.
That's kind of what I like to think they might have done, dude. Is they might have used cassowary DNA. And after all, it wouldn't be the most ridiculous thing we've ever heard. Or blood loss from... Well, believe it or not, they actually did film Ray Arnold's death. Well, I mean, they had planned it, but they were never able to film it because by the time Sam Jackson was going to fly out to film on location in Hawaii with the rest of the group was when Hurricane Iniki hit, so he couldn't. So yeah, there's Clayton Faridi did a video on it, so you can maybe I might link it somewhere on my DA page later, but still. But yeah, like, they actually were going to show his death, in which he would have been killed by the raptor that was in the power shed, but they just sadly couldn't. They just sadly couldn't. They didn't have the time. Which, that happens. No, I didn't mean to do that. It's a shame that Cameron Thor did what he did. I would too, dude, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you do shit like that, you deserve to go to jail. I'm sorry. Not really quite sure what I'm going to put in here just yet, but I just wanted to go ahead and get this, get it paddock up and going as best I could.
Confirming system delivery.
Yeah, I'm not liking the way that's looking.
Asset transported.
Nope, still not good. Yep. It sure does, man. It sure does. Like I said, not really sure what we're going to put in here just yet. Ooh, actually, I just had a fun idea. About that big. There we go. Just wish we'd get the Dilo and the Spino again. Aw, dude, trust me, those dinos are... I have a feeling we are getting those dinosaurs in the next movie, just because they're practically in demand every day of the week. The Dilo is... What's your favorite character from all the movies? Aw, man, that's a hard one, because there's a lot. Like, if I had to pick one specifically, I'd probably have... I'll admit, it's purely nostalgia. The arc that he goes through in the first movie is so good. Spino behaving like a proper animal. Mine has to be Nedry, just the way he interacts with people. Yeah, Wayne... It also does... It's also just... I also think Wayne Knight just really sells that performance. Now I know what I want to do with this space, now that I'm thinking. Well, actually, just to kind of help. Actually, what we'll do here. He really does. I mean... I'm just using the heavy cable fence for get the layout for what I want. Spared no expense on it. There we go. That looks better, don't you think, fellas? Yeah, like... I mean, in terms of, like, where the movies rank with me... Millions of dollars in embryos. Fat bastard let slip. Well, to be fair... To be fair, that's chaos for you. In terms of where each of the movies rank for me with Jurassic, number one is obviously going to be the original movie, just because you'll never be able to, you can never top a classic. You just can't. After that, I would say after Jurassic Park, I would honestly say it's a tie between The Lost World and Jurassic World, then Fallen Kingdom, and JP3 last, for obvious reasons. Oh, whoa, that Momenchi's tail is glitching out. Now, what do we want to put in here? Oh. Let's check on the Deinonychus, see how they're doing. Man, I love... Like I said, I know some people don't like the way this dinosaur... But I like it. I still have the feeling Nedry was indeed underappreciated by John. A little. I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that to a point. I definitely do. But we also have to keep in mind that, and this is something that I didn't pick up on until more recently, but still, remember, in the movie, and this is also from the... Yeah, I was just about to say that, dude. Nedry did bid for the job, remember. Like, again, meaning... In many ways, Nedry's it's kind of Nedry's own dumb fault that he's not getting paid more, technically. So it's like... But to be fair, it could just simply because he didn't know what he was getting himself into when he bid for the job. Then when he actually saw what the job entailed, he was like, damn, I could have got more. Plus, it seemed Nedry tended to get under John's skin. That he did. That he did. And again, Wayne Knight is really good about playing characters like that, so I feel like that's why Spielberg cast him in the role. Oh, she's going for the goat. Goaty, no! Oh! Love it. Now, what do we wish to put in here? Oh, I already know. Nope. Ornithomimids. You beat me by a second, you bastard. Yes, I did. There we go. Alright, so we're going to put the ornithomimids in there, and we're actually going to have quite a few. Doing the path trick again. This is one of the best tricks I have. Does the Indoraptor kill for food or pleasure? I would probably say more so pleasure than anything else. Well, I mean, in game it's killing because it's hungry. We know that much, but it's like, I get where you're coming from, dude. I'm not trying to... I mean, clearly in the movie, though, it's clearly just killing for the sake of killing. But again, that ties into the fact that, keep in mind, that thing was essentially bred to be a monster. Whereas Indominus was only technically a monster because of how she was treated. There we go. I'm wondering how Dodson became CEO of Biosyn, because in JP1 he's just some agent for the company. Well, he didn't actually become Well, in the novels he wasn't technically the CEO, but he wasn't the CEO, but he did have a high-ranking position in the company by the events of Crichton's second novel, and a lot of it was because of his cutthroat ruthlessness. But a lot of it was also just because the guy was really good about knowing how to climb up the corporate ladder. So again, that's why I made the comparison to Mills earlier, is that Mills in many ways is very similar to Dodson in that regard, that because Mills was clearly somebody who got a taste of the successful life very early on and was willing to do whatever it took to hold on to it. She learned real quick she's top pair of teeth on the island. That she did. don't mean it. Come on. The most evil compared to Ludlow and Nedry. Oh, he totally is, dude. Like, Mills is just a total bastard. And but that being said, Rolf Spall, I believe that's his name, the actor's name who played Mills. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. Rolf Spalling, I believe, he did a really good job of making that character feel believable. Again, it's a real testament to the actors when they're able to play a character like that. During the craze for falling... Did anyone make the joke, Dino Lives Matter? To be fair, it's a better hashtag than some other things I've seen. I'm not gonna get political here, guys. We're not here for that crap. And where did I put my phone? Damn. I literally just had it here a second ago. Where? Oh, there it is. Oh, Titans Season 3. Cool. Oh, nope, go back. Sorry, guys, I'm just taking a quick look at something real quick. Coastal, jungle. You know what? Go out real quick. Archaea ornithomimus. It's only a joke. I know, but let's go with the wetland Archaea ornithomimus. Get a couple of those cooking. Well, actually, we'll only have 3. No, they don't. I agree with that. They don't. Nedry and Ludlow are more just the kind of people who are willing to metaphorically stab you in the back to advance their own career. And Ludlow... I mean, to be fair, though, I will say this much about Nedry inadvertently killed many people, like Gennaro. That he did. Although, to be fair, as many have pointed out, and I'm not the first person to say this, and I probably won't be the last either, but the only one on John's side, yes. But in all fairness, though, Jurassic Park was always doomed to fail, mainly just because really what Hammond and everyone out at the time in the 93 movie, and even to a point in the novel, and even especially in the novel as well, that they really had no clue what the hell they were doing. It has to be said. So, as we saw, the park was already suffering from all sorts of problems. Nedry was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Alright. Listen to that music. Kind of reminds me of I can't remember which GTA game it was, but the one that plays like the the El Viva station, the Latino music station, which I always loved that. All the props of a major theme park and a major zoo. Oh, they totally were. His plan was to deliver the embryos and then return. Exactly. Unfortunately, he ended up getting lost. Excuse me. In the middle of a storm, too. Okay, get these guys all moved over.
asset to be collected.
Should have called it off. He probably a lot of money in a single tax-free shot just to get all those embryos. And all of it basically just to go, suck it, Hammond. Mimus. Go with the jungle, just to give it a little more color. The Struthies will be done in just a minute, but I'm going to wait for the Arkies to be moved over before I trank and move these girls over.
Commencing asset transit.
Indeed, Nedry's demise is one of the best. Yeah, if anything, like this, just as one person I talked to said it best, one of the most important lessons in Jurassic Park: don't screw over your computer programmer. Has to be said. Fetch the stick! Fetch the stick, stupid! Fetch the stick! You don't like the stick? Eh, no wonder you're extinct. I'm gonna run you over when I come back down. Challenge. The Dilo was like, challenge accepted, sir. No. Okay, let's see.
Delivery complete.
Come on.
Asset delivered.
Okay, now we can hatch these guys. Didn't Nedry invent the first GIF? I think he kinda did, didn't he? You didn't say the magic word. I love the Rainforest Struthie. I love that blue and yellow color scheme. It looks so good, doesn't it? Run, Becky! Little Gaming Beaver reference for you there, folks. Shoot it with the science! Pretty. Yes, they are. Now let's get the Beckys moved over.
Heading to collect the asset. Heading to pick up the asset.
Asset just sounds like such a dirty word when describing a dinosaur, doesn't it? Maybe that's just me. Oh, nope. I need to go down. Thank you. And we'll get 4 Gallimimus going. Don't feed them to any Carnos. Oh, trust me, I don't intend to.
Asset being transported.
I wonder if maybe we could find somewhere to shove the Avery in real quick. So I feel we gotta put that in at some point, fellas. What do you think? Let me know if you're down for putting in the Avery.
Transporting asset.
I just don't understand why they made Dr. Wu a villain. Well, that's the thing. Lou. B.D. Wong has actually gone on record in saying this back when Fallen Kingdom came out, and I agree with it. Wu isn't really a villain if you actually think about it. He's doing what he's doing simply because he's trying to perfect what he's done. In many ways, Wu is one of the best examples of a morally gray character. That he's not really a villain, but he's clearly not a good person either. Wu ain't a villain. He just tends to get lost in his work. Yeah, again, they're in that regard, they really are pulling a lot more from the novels with Wu in that regard. Like, because in the novel, there's in the original Jurassic Park novel, there's a chapter called Version 4.4, where Wu goes to Hammond, basically saying that he wants to breed, he wants to replace all of the current stock of animals in the park, because, he feels like they're just, they're not up to the standards that people expect of a dinosaur. And Hammond is completely against it because, he says people don't want domesticated dinosaurs. They want the real deal. He gets so caught on, if he could. I think Vic Hoskins isn't also really a villain. I personally think that one's a little debatable. I mean, okay, I'll say Hoskins isn't an intentional villain at best, but he's clearly not all there. He's a little cuckoo. It's like, seriously, I feel like Hoskins in Jurassic World, there are moments where I almost expect Owen to say to him, to quote a line from an episode of Johnny Bravo. You ever heard? Do you know when you talk, some loopy Moon Man language comes out of your head? Hoskins was too caught on turning dinos into attack dogs. Yeah, he really was. It has to be said. Sorry, excuse me. Release the galleys! I really love the orange look of them with the jungle skin. They go from being this dull brown to a little bit more almost burnt orangey look, but I love it. Get you moved over. He expected the raptors to follow orders to a T, like a German shepherd, much like how Muldoon treated his raptors like lions. Exactly. It's that at the end of the day, you have to understand these animals come from a time before humans, so they have no point of reference. And people think Jurassic Park is just mindless entertainment. It's really not. Hang on a second. I'm just going to turn on the rain just because I can. Alright. Real quickly. Where is Polacanthus? There you are, buddy. What is your ideal population? 6. Okay. Hang on a sec, guys. I'm just looking up something on my on my phone again. Ah, darn it. Let's see. Excuse me. The character I hate the most is Nick Van Owen. Yeah, I'm surprised a lot of people hate Nick as much as they do, but again, I'm playing again. This is not. I'm not trying to dissuade your opinion by any means, buddy. I'm just expressing my thoughts that I get why people don't like Nick. Game Hunter in Fallen Kingdom. No, that was Ken Wheatley. Nick Van Owen was Vince Vaughn's character in The Lost World, the one that had the camera initially, the one who's the environmentalist. No, let's go with Coastal. Because I like the Coastal Iguanodon. I mean, I would say this. Nick's biggest flaw is he's a bleeding heart animal rights environmentalist. Yeah. I actually like Nick Van Owen, because, again, Nick is, in many ways, Nick's heart was in the Nick's heart is in the right place, but the problem is just that he didn't really stop to think things through all the way. It's like, yeah, let's remove the bullets from the big game hunter's gun. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, it kind of sort of is, but in many... But at the same time, I will say this. Again, like, it all goes back to chaos theory, and that's the... And that, when you really look at it, everything in the Jurassic Park series deals with that. Nobody wanted the Buck Rex getting shot. I mean, no. No, we didn't. Go with Big Tree. I like Big Tree. This game really looks good in the rain, it has to be said. The Buck just wanted his baby back. That he did. Buck Rex is best dad in the Jurassic Park movies. I dare someone to change my opinion. Where do I stick this one, then? Shove it all the way in the back there. Say that Roland is a villain because he hunts for sport. No, Roland, I would... Baby Rex versus Bumpy, which is cuter? Bumpy, mainly just because that one doesn't want to bite my face off, but I still love the Baby Rex from The Lost World. Has to be said. But no, I definitely agree, Lou. Like, I don't actually believe that, I don't really classify Roland as... Roland is actually more of an anti-hero than he is anything else. Because he's really one of the only people on Ludlow's hunting party that actually has any common sense. And personally, there's nothing wrong with big game hunting for sport, because Roland is very much an honorable fighter, as we see. Like, he's all about giving the animal a chance. And it seems like he only goes after things that are a worthy challenge for a big game hunter of his caliber. I mean, hence why he wants to go after a T-Rex. I mean, it's the last prize for, one of the last of the philosopher hunters. If only Max was here to see this. Because I know he loves Iguanodon. I love the Iguanodon too in this game. It looks great.
Headed to pick up the asset. Collecting asset.
No, he didn't. In fact, there's actually a deleted scene too where we actually see how the Baby Rex gets its leg broken, and that's something scares Ludlow, and he accidentally trips and falls onto the baby, breaking its leg. And Roland even gets angry with him, calling him a damn fool, because, again, Roland didn't want to hurt the baby. He just wanted to use it as bait. But he had no intention of, hurting it or killing it, because it's a baby. There's no sport in it.
Transporting asset.
Now, one thing that I think a lot of people tend to overlook that I think is interesting is that, now, people have said, like, Roland is an idiot for, not telling Sarah to get rid of her blood-soaked jacket that is covered in the Baby Rex's blood. But in more recent years, more people have hinted at that maybe Roland intentionally doesn't tell her to because because he knows it'll lure the Buck Rex in. And lo and behold, that same night, that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, it is kind of one of those things that it's left and very ambiguous, which I think is kind of interesting. Like how Teddy Roosevelt didn't shoot a bear cub. Exactly. And that's how teddy bears were invented. No joke. What do you think Biosyn's role is going to be in Jurassic World 3? Well, they're definitely going to be. I think it's definitely say that Biosyn and, more importantly, Lou Dodson are going to be the primary human antagonists of the story. I think that much is being made very clear. Since now the ability to make dinosaurs and other de-extinct prehistoric life has now gone open sourced. Colin Trevorrow said we're going to see other companies like Biosyn making their own dinosaurs, and that's why they have said that we're going to see more paleontologically correct dinosaurs in Dominion. Which I'll admit, that from a narrative purpose, I'm actually looking forward to that. How many people are going to start hunting dinos for sport? I would not put it past people to do that. But at the same time, let's be honest, there's no way not everybody that goes dino hunting into the woods of California and the surrounding areas are coming out of there alive. Like, let's just be realistic here, people. Raptors with feathers? I think there's a very real chance we're going to see feathered raptors. Now again, maybe they might be made by Biosyn, or they could be made by another character, or another company. Like, I'm kind of interested to see if maybe we're going to see more of Manticore in the film series, since they were recently introduced in Camp Cretaceous. In the book, is clearly a villain, but in the movie canon, the only thing he's done so far is try to steal some embryos. Well, again, that was because... That's only because, again, they were basically, for the most part, adapting the basic storyline of the original book when they did the first movie, so that's why. Whereas in the second novel, like I said, Crichton expanded upon Dodson's character and really made him a ruthless, cutthroat, cold-hearted bastard. And I mean, he really is. Like, when they get to eat, like, he tricks Sarah into helping them get to Isla Sorna because, by lying, saying that he's a friend of Ian Malcolm and the rest of the party. And when they get there, when they get to the island, he pushes her over the edge of the boat and attempt to drown her, but she thankfully makes it to the island. It was safest when Ingen and Mizrani cornered the market in genetic engineering. To a point. I mean, after all, technically, remember, let's not forget that they did technically still authorize the creation of the Indominus Rex. Like, I think that's something we need to keep in mind there, folks. Not trying to argue with you, bud. Just saying. I'm thinking this will be a ceratopsian enclosure. What do you think, fellas? Yep. I mean, yes, it technically was, but it still happened regardless, so... Part of me feels like in Dominion we're definitely going to see Wu pay the price for his hubris, very similar to Dr. Frankenstein, like... And I think he will die a very similar death to how he did in the original novel. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, in the original novel, Wu actually dies. The evil villain die for once, if for some reason Dodson and Nedry always have been my favorite characters. To not let the villain die for once. I mean, to be fair, I think there's a reason why the villains in Jurassic stories die. And again, it all goes back to, it's about the symbolism. It's like, Mizrani definitely cared for the animals, and a lot of that was because he shared John's passion, given that, Hammond was, his family's friend, so he clearly had a lot of John's passion. I mean, we see that in the movie, because, like, I love that one of the first lines of dialogue he says when we see him in the movie is, he asks the questions, is the park, are the guests enjoying themselves? Are the animals happy and healthy? All that stuff. JP rules. If you're a dick, you're probably going to get what's coming to you. Absolutely. That's kind of how it works. And if you think about it, like I've mentioned this before to a few people, including you, Tom. But that's one of the reasons why I love the fact that Billy doesn't die in JP3. Oh, he's definitely going to deserve it. That unlike Ludlow, Nedry, Hoskins, and Mills, Billy wasn't really motivated by greed. He was motivated by passion because he wanted to continue doing, digging with Alan Grant. Hence why, to make up for, to basically redeem himself for his sins, he sacrifices himself. But because he's not a greedy individual, it feels like hence why he doesn't die. It's like, yeah, he gets messed up. Billy did what he did to save the dig site. Exactly. Like, he wanted to keep doing what he was doing with Dr. Grant because he's very passionate about it. And that doesn't make... And I love that Grant even points out that he was wrong to say Billy was no better than, the people at InGen. Because that's not true. Got two British herbivores in this enclosure. I think that's very poetic. I wonder if Grant will love dinosaurs again. Well, I think he will, because we clearly see by the end of JP3, buddy, that his stance regarding InGen's dinosaurs has changed somewhat. Like, one of the scenes that definitely, I think, showcases that is the scene where they drive by all those where they're floating down the river past all those herbivores, and the Brachiosaurus walk up to investigate the boat, and we get that admittedly kind of scary shot of one of them roaring close up. Like, that, admittedly, that was kind of scary. It's kind of creepy. It's like, oh, dear God, no. The question is, tell you what, fellas, what ceratopsians should we have in this enclosure? Like, I'm open to suggestions. Zudo. Ah, good choice. Any others? Come on, children, don't be shy. Mr. Garrison from South Park, no. I wonder how they're going to let Malcolm act like the support. I think it's safe to say that Malcolm's going to be very much like how he was in the first movie, and that he's kind of the sarcastic critic to a certain point, but obviously he's going to be more involved with the plot a bit more than just kind of how he was in the first movie. Again, not trying to talk crap on it. Part of me is kind of under the impression that by the end of the film, maybe by the end, depending on how they do it, depending on how Dominion goes, if it doesn't end on a sad note, like, maybe Malcolm will finally realize maybe he's been wrong about the dinosaurs all this time, and then that really they're not monsters. Wonder if Rexy will recognize Grant and Malcolm. That's a good question, actually. I can't really answer that one. Okay, so we got Nasutoceratops. What other ceratopsians? Let's see. Let's see, guys. We have... Oh, come on. We got Chasmosaurus. Rexy will probably just kill anything she sees. Oh, she definitely will. Well, as long as it doesn't move. I'm really hoping that's something that they'll bring up in Dominion. I really hope that's something that they bring up in Dominion, like the whole she'll lose you if you don't move. Because we haven't really seen that play out in the film since the first Jurassic Park. I mean, Malcolm does try to tell the hunters in the Lost World when the Rexes invade the camp not to move and run, but lo and behold, in their panic they don't listen. And then JP3 just kind of played it off as like a gag, which I'll admit I was not really the biggest fan of that. Tell you what, we'll go hatchery capacity again. We'll go with Nizudo 3 Nizudos and 3 Pentaceratops. Go with the woodland skin because I like that one. Alright. To be fair, when the Rex roared, everyone ran. I mean, I know, dude, but it was still played off as basically kind of a joke, which, again, I just wasn't really the biggest fan of. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like... I just kind of feel there are just way too many moments in JP3 where it's just too jokey. That's just me. That's just my opinion. Again, I want to make this clear. I don't hate Jurassic Park 3. I don't hate it. I really, really don't. But like I said, there's a reason why it's my least favorite. I love all the movies, really. I mean, yeah, I get that, but still, it's like, it is technically a thing in the Jurassic Park canon that we know is a thing. The Rex will lose you if you don't move. So again, I would just like to see that come up in a tense moment in Dominion, just because I think it's something that fans would really love to see come back, a concept from the original film come back again. I really don't think the Fallen Kingdom is as bad as people say it is. I'm one of the few people I seem to be in the minority that actually is in defense of that movie. She can still smell you. Yes, she can. Hey, that's perfectly fine, dude. Like, we don't all have to like the same things. But again, I personally don't think Fallen Kingdom's that bad. I mean, yeah, granted, it's not as good as Jurassic World, because admittingly there are a few moments in there where I question some of the logic, but I still, at least with some of the things that happen in it, but still, I do think that Fallen Kingdom does its job, and that, you know, it's part 2 of a 3-part story, and it definitely does, and it definitely helps to set up the whole dinosaurs now loose on the mainland thing, which, again, a concept that was from the original novels that has never made it to the big screen until now, so it's going to be fun to see all that play out. No, I don't want trees. I want to transport the dinosaur. Thank you. Yeah, like, but to be fair, you could say that about anything, though, bud. The vocal minority that are against something will always be the loudest, just simply because we live in a day and age of, like, cancel culture and all that crap, which... actually, since I'm looking at this... Yeah, I like the way that look. I like the way that's looking right now. Nope. I love Toby Jones as Mr. Eversole. Oh yeah, he's really fun in that movie. I love that he gets his comeuppance too. Toby Jones is a good actor. Indeed. God, I love the Nizudo Ceratops. Again, I'm going to be real excited to see more of this dinosaur in Dominion. Which, I know my buddy Max, I know my friend Max on DA has said that he really didn't like the fact that this dinosaur was introduced in Battle at Big Rock literally out of nowhere. And while I can understand the argument, why I respectfully disagree, that is simply because keep in mind, the Jurassic movies have always done this whole... They basically just pick whatever dinosaurs they want to showcase in the respective stories that they're telling. Just because we don't see the Nezutoceratops in Fallen Kingdom doesn't mean that Wheatley and them didn't capture some and bring them off the island. Max complains about everything. I mean, you're not wrong, but it's like there are some... I just kind of feel like there are some things that's like, I will agree, he just blows out of proportion. Again, Max, I'm not trying to talk crap about you, buddy. I love you. You know I do. What's our dinosaur score like right now? 4893 out of 5,000. And we have 21 species in the park. Can you believe that? That's impressive. That is impressive. John Cena in Bumblebee. Yeah, I still don't get that argument. So yeah, I'm right there with you, bud. I still to this day don't get that argument. John Cena was fine in that movie, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, a little bit, but I understand where you're coming from, so... Actually, no, let's make this just a tiny bit bigger. No! Damn it, come on. Ah, darn it, come on. Pentaceratops, aka the most finicky ceratopsian in this game. Oh, it's a cool dino. Shoot. Oh, shoot. Did not mean to do that. Whoops.
En route to collect the asset. Commencing asset transit.
Take flight, my dino!
Transportation underway.
Yeah, I'm already not liking where this is going. Stop. I have no idea. That's Universal's problem. Again, I don't think, like, Sam Jackson's going to come back in a major supporting role. Again, considering his character is probably dead. Again, if he is coming back... My guess is it's either going to be... My guess is, again, it's probably going to be a flashback scene. Or it's probably more likely going to be... he's more likely going to play a different character. Get some Albertosaurus cooking up. Just because I can. We will have a T-Rex by the end, I swear. We will.
Asset has been delivered.
Excuse me. So yeah, sorry guys, I have a little bit of a congested cough, so... Let's see. Put that tree there. Put that there. Now we're cooking. Actually, yeah, let's put in my favorite rock. Come on.
Delivery has been completed.
Alright, let's see. Okay. Medium carnivore. My name is Hunter. Alright, let's see. Still going. We still got a lot of space we could utilize, and I love it. Nah, it's all good, dude. Just to get a little bit more of a unique shape. Oh, I can attest to that. I say that just because I love. Ah, no. Come on. Stupid. My OCD is kicking in. Nope, tour's back this way. I mean, I kind of do with this game in the sense that I want my exhibits to look a certain way when I'm planning them out in my head, and when things don't go the way I intend for them to go, then I'm just like, you know, it's that whole thing like, maybe in a bit, hang on. Alright. Let's get these girls moved in. the Albertosaurus.
Picking up asset.
Damn it! Shoot it! Shoot her! There's a little Jurassic Park 1 reference for you.
Collecting asset.
And I already know what I want in that enclosure next to the iguanodons. Get some baryonyx cooking. Shoot her!
Asset transportation underway.
Get some Spinosaurids up in here, shall we? Clever girl. Yeah, I'll admit, after while I have nothing against Muldoon's death in the movie, I will admit, after I read the novel through the first time, I kind of wish he had kind of lived like he did in the book.
Commencing asset transit.
I don't see why not.
Asset has been transported.
Nothing to save Arnold. Well, to be fair, there was nothing he could have done. It's like, to be fair, they didn't realize that the shutdown had turned off all the fences. Ah, damn. They didn't realize that the shutdown had turned off all the fences until way after the fact. And believe it or not, there actually is a reason why Muldoon is the way that he is, and it's because Steven Spielberg has officially gone on record saying another one of the reasons he wanted to do Jurassic Park was because he never got to do a sequel to Jaws. And when you look at Muldoon's character in Jurassic Park, he's very similar to Captain Quint from Jaws. So, you know, both have a clear hatred of the respective animals. With Quint it's sharks, Muldoon it's the velociraptors, and by the end of the film, both characters meet a bloody end by the creatures that they hate with a passion. So there is that. Exactly, which I love that they actually referenced something historical. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Bob Peck, I believe I forget what it was he died of. I think it was like, I want to say it was cancer, but I could be wrong. So don't quote me on that.
Asset to be collected.
Oh yeah, I remember somebody pointed that little interesting bit of trivia. I thought that was cool. Alright, let's move you over as well.
Asset collection request received.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Just filling out some of the space I'm not using with trees is all. You know what? Just because I can, let's put like a little lake back here.
Transportation in progress.
Let's see. Hey, I'm not going to argue with you, dude. You're right on that. Nah, it's not looking the way I want it. Let's take a quick moment. I know for a fact I'm in the minority. I'm in a minority on this one, but I like the way the baryonyx from Fallen Kingdom looks. I mean, yeah, I get why people don't like it, but honestly, I kind of like the crocodilian look with the scoots and stuff on the back. Like, you almost get the sense, like, you can almost see what went into making this dinosaur. Like, maybe Wu actually had to use, like, crocodilian DNA, like, to fill in some of the missing gene gaps, because we know that, you know, again, the Jurassic World films have confirmed this as well, that, like the original novel, they didn't just use amphibian DNA, they used whatever animal DNA they could that was compatible to fill in the dinosaur's gene sequence gaps. Yeah, a few other people have actually suggested that as well, that maybe, you know, they used crocodilian DNA in the making of the baryonyx. I mean, like I said, it might not be scientifically accurate looking, but again, that's kind of per the course with Jurassic dinosaurs. And yet, like, again, yeah, this thing may not be paleontologically accurate, but I will still say, I could still see this being a real animal. Aww, sleepy. Ooh. I know what I want in here now. Now I know what I want. Yeah, they could. In many ways, I think the hybrid dinosaurs kind of look like what would happen if Mother Nature just went on a drinking binge and produced nightmare fuel creatures, but I mean that in a good way, not a derogatory way, I swear. Whoa. Excuse me. I'll just leave it there for now. Oh, I've been slipping. Okay. No. Eat that one, thank you. Ah, they're fighting. Alrighty. And like I said, I know what I want in here, so... Where is it? Oh, there's the stegosaur. How did none of the engineers of Jurassic World thought it would be a bad idea to build a park right next to an active volcano? Well, to be fair, in canon, Mount Sibo had been dormant for well over 100 years, so... Or something to that effect, I believe, if I'm remembering that correct. So, it wasn't until about sometime between the events of... I can't remember the exact period, but the... sometime between the events of after the ending of Jurassic World and between Fallen Kingdom that it began to become active again. So they had no reason to believe that they were in any immediate danger. No. Indeed. I wouldn't really say it's a plot hole. I mean, it definitely helps to move the plot along in that regard, but I mean, to be fair, they needed a reason to. Again, the whole point was that the whole point in Fallen Kingdom is that we're moving the story away from the islands. So what better way to move away from that than by blowing it up? So in that regard, you know, I wouldn't say it's a plot hole, but it was more of a necessary component to move the story forward, because otherwise it's no less dangerous than aka Yellowstone. Not hating, just saying. Oh no, I did not mean to do that. Damn it. Alright guys, let's get some stegos in here, shall we? Oh, nope. I'm not saying it's a plot hole. I know, but I know some people would say it. I know some people think it is, but again, I'm not one of those people. Like, again, the whole... Because, like, remember, there's also that bit of dialogue at the beginning when we see the newscast on the BBC when they say that when they mention, and I think this is deliberately intentional somewhat, when they say Isla Nublar is home to the last dinosaurs on the planet. Do I consider Ken Wheatley a villain? Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest, the guy's by no means a saint, so yeah, I very much classify him as a villain, because he clearly takes pleasure in what he's doing and ripping out these poor dinosaurs' teeth to make a necklace. Remember, Wheatley and all the rest of the guys that Mills had hired were mercenaries, meaning they don't care what happens to the animals. They only care about getting a paycheck. They're animal traffickers. What happened to Sorna? Well, it's explained on the DPG's website that basically that a lot happened to Sorna, and that Wheatley lost that same arm, exactly. But that basically in the DPG mentions that after Masrani Global bought out InGen after the events of the Lost World, shortly after the San Diego incident, and after now the public knew that dinosaurs were alive and well, Masrani bought the rights, bought out John Hammond's company InGen and absorbed it into his own company because he felt he owed that to his father's business, old friend and business partner. And Masrani wanted to make Hammond's dream of a dinosaur theme park a reality as best he could. But see, after the events of The Lost World, he's basically just Vic Hoskins 2.0. Yeah, except here's the thing, he's a lot worse. I would say he's worse than Hoskins. But what happened was that after the events of after Isla Sorna was declared a wildlife sanctuary after the buck and infant T-Rex were returned back to Sorna, Sorna was declared basically a dinosaur sanctuary, but this was also when the Gene Guard Act came into place, which basically prohibited the cloning of any more dinosaur species or any extinct animals or anything really. But 100 days after InGen was bought out by Masrani Global and absorbed into that, select members of the Masrani board sent Dr. Wu and several other InGen scientists back to the island in 1999 to conduct research for Jurassic World, in which Wu basically created 4 new species of dinosaur, 2 of which were on InGen's list, being the Corythosaur and Ankylosaur, since InGen had the DNA prior to the fall of Jurassic Park, and the other 2 species, the Spinosaurus and Ceratosaurus, were species that were not on InGen's list. After these animals were bred and housed, after the animals were born, Wu basically experimented on them for a period of 9 months after their births before releasing them into the wild. And by doing this, essentially, they seem to imply, again, it's never specifically stated, which nor should it be, but the implication seems to be that Wu's actions of basically releasing what are essentially illegally bred invasive species into Sorna's already fragilely established ecosystems caused a massive downward spiral to the ecosystem and the animals that lived on it. As a result, this event was dubbed the Chaos Effect, in which dinosaurs began dying off very rapidly. Masrani, fearful of the survival of the animals, ordered as many animals from Sorna that could be found be transported over to Nublar so they could be housed in Jurassic World. And the public has now basically been led to believe that not much is left of Isla Sorna, but again, that's what the public has been led to believe. For all we know, there may still be some dinosaurs on Isla Sorna. But where was Biosyn all these years? The shutdown of Jurassic World was the perfect chance to get dino DNA from the island. Well, that's the thing. Admittingly, there has been no explanation for that, dude. But we may end up getting... I wouldn't be surprised if we do get one in Fallen Kingdom. Again, Camp Cretaceous does show that many companies have been... again, that's why I brought up earlier the thing from Manticorp that was brought up in Camp Cretaceous, because we know that other companies are trying to get their hands on dinosaur DNA and create their own dinosaurs. But again, up to this point, InGen and later Masrani Global basically had cornered the market on it, but now that power has now gone open sourced. So, because remember, it's not just the dinosaurs that are being sold off, but also remember, somebody, as we saw at the end of Fallen Kingdom, managed to get away with several vials of dinosaur DNA. I would not be surprised if maybe that might be, maybe some of those, interestingly, there has been an interesting fan theory that maybe Mills, was working with Biosyn maybe, or at the very least he was doing business with them, maybe possibly selling to them. I wouldn't be surprised if people from Biosyn were at that dinosaur auction in Fallen Kingdom. I would not put it past them. I really would not. Excuse me. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where the story's going to go. That much I think we can all agree on. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting development. No, you are not returning to base. Well, to be fair, the novels do make clear that Biosyn has been doing that Biosyn, you know, they had their own projects in the wing. Like in the novels, Dodson actually had created a rabies vaccine that he tested on I believe it was a South American or Central American village without the farmer's consent or knowledge of it. So yeah, Dodson is clearly not someone who values human life. Again, this is why I tell people, like, you really need to, you really should read the novels. They're really good. Get one more stegosaur going. Excuse me. Oh, I would definitely say read the second novel, dude. It's really good. In my personal opinion, it's not as good as the first, but that's typically how sequels tend to be. So I'm not really gonna harp on it too much. Let's get an Allosaurus cooking. But yeah, I definitely recommend the Lost World novel. It's got some really good stuff in it. And it actually does feel like a proper sequel of sorts. Again, it's got some issues, but then again, what doesn't? Nothing is truly perfect. How would you rank the movies? Well, like I said, for me, like where they personally rank with me in terms of my favorite to my least favorite, it would be Jurassic Park, Lost World, and Jurassic World are both tied at second. Third would probably be... third is definitely Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic Park 3 is dead last. Again, I do still like JP3, but it's definitely, I would say, the most problematic of all the films, more so than Fallen Kingdom, in my opinion. But that still doesn't stop me from enjoying it. But again, that's all just my personal opinion. Oh, that Stegosaur is ready. Give me just 1 second. Wow, Fallen Kingdom after JP3? Wow. But hey, to each their own. Again, not trying to change anybody's opinions, just saying. I mean, again, I know, like I said, I know I'm in the minority that... I know I'm in that minority of fans that actually doesn't think it's that bad of a film. But then again, maybe it just... But then again, that just goes to show that... Just goes to show not everybody's going to have the same opinions, and that's perfectly fine. Nah, it's all good, dude. Hope the ham was good. Oh, man, I love the Lost World Stegosaur design. It looks so good! Nothing against the Jurassic World look for the Stegosaurus, but... this is the Stego I grew up with.
Asset being transported.
large carnivore. Well, I mean, I say minority, but really I'll admit, what I mean is that Fallen Kingdom is definitely, I think, so far out of the Jurassic World trilogy thus far, it's definitely been the most divisive entry. You either, because it is one of those movies that you either enjoy it or you don't. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make that very clear. Everybody has different tastes, and we shouldn't shame each other for it. Oh, if only cancel culture could get that. Okay, in all seriousness, I'm not going to make any more jokes like that, or at least I'm not going to try to. No, I don't. I want rocks. And Allosaurus is ready. Hey, nothing wrong with that. You know, I agree with somebody said, YouTuber by Matt N7 said it best about the Allosaurus design in this game, that it's kind of, it's this happy balance. It's like this great imbalance between the juvenile we see in the juvenile look of the Allo we see in Fallen Kingdom, and the adult look of it we see in Battle at Big Rock. The only reason I didn't rank Battle at Big Rock with the films is because technically, one, it's a short film, not a feature-length film, and it just wouldn't feel right. It wouldn't feel right trying to compare it to a feature-length film, if that makes any sense, but I really loved Battle at Big Rock. I think that short film is really friggin' good.
Asset transportation underway.
In fact, honestly, a few people have said this, and I agree with it, that with the way Battle at Big Rock was shot and is shot and filmed, it almost feels like it could be. It almost feels like it could be. Battle at Big Rock feels like it could be the start to Dominion. It's always great.
Asset has been delivered.
Dude, like, dude, same. The death of the Brachiosaur is by far one of the most. I mean, as sad as it is, it's also a really good scene because one, it's beautifully shot, and two, I do love the symbol. As sad as it is, I do love the symbolic nature of it. That it's the end of John Hammond's dream as we know it. And honestly, what better way to say goodbye to the island than with the dinosaur that greeted us there so many years ago. Also, when Jay Bayona announced that the Brachiosaur we see die on the dock is meant to be the same animal that Grant and the others saw when they first arrived onto the island in the first movie, it was like, well, that's just even more of a kick in the balls, isn't it? You can thank Wolf for that video she shared with us. Oh, I do. Where are we at now? Oh, we're doing real good. I only started to hate Jurassic World 2 because they introduced the clone of Lockwood's granddaughter. Well, I think you mean... Well, no, again, like, she's not technically his granddaughter. I mean, she is, but she isn't. She's technically his daughter clone, but still. But honestly, I actually really liked that concept, personally, because I personally think, like, had Michael Crichton done more than 2 novels, that's something... I think that's a concept he would have explored. And again, I think Maisie's introduction also is really good because of the fact that... Sorry, dinosaurs can be noisy sometimes. But because it basically ties in back with the themes of Jurassic Park that, you know... Remember, Malcolm said that, you know, what Hammond was doing at Jurassic Park was essentially raping the natural world, which, again, he was technically right. And Maisie's introduction of being a clone was, you know, it basically, it really helps to symbolize that perfectly because, you know, now we're not just witnessing the rape of the natural world anymore. Now we're really being forced to confront and talk about it. Well, to be fair, why would companies bother to clone dinosaurs if they can clone humans? Well, to be fair, it's like cloning dinosaurs. The whole reason Hammond was the whole reason for Hammond to create Jurassic Park was he wanted to show people something that wasn't an illusion. Remember, it's like he wanted to, because again, he said one of the first attractions he ever did was a flea circus. But you know, anyone who knows anything about a flea circus is that it's basically it's all just motorized tiny things. This is JP, not Star Wars. Agreed. It's like, if anything, Maisie's introduction of being a clone really raises the ethical nature of cloning itself, because now you're meddling in... It's like, let me put it this way, if cloning dinosaurs wasn't meddling in God's domain, then cloning humans really is. Plus, if we're really going to be honest, I really don't see much of a point in cloning people anyway. That's why I don't like the introduction of the girl. Again, I understand where you're coming from on that, dude, but again, I respectfully disagree. I personally don't think Maisie is really that big of a problem. In fact, if anything, the fact her being a clone, I was so thankful... Her being a clone, I was so thankful that was not spoiled in the trailers. I swear, if that had been spoiled in the marketing, I would have been pissed. No lie. And I know quite a few other people that share my sentiment on that. Again, I'm interested. It's definitely going to be interesting, in my opinion, to see where they're going to go with Maisie's character in the next movie. Because again, Maisie basically is kind of, you know, like I mentioned earlier, I personally think, nothing wrong with that, but like, damn. Oh, but like, I think, like I said, Maisie's being a clone, in a way, sorry, my mind's all over the place, sorry. It's also her fault that all those dinosaurs are free now and killing people. Yes, but like I was saying, but again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It goes back to the theme of Jurassic, which is control. That's a theme that has been with all of the movies, save Jurassic Park 3. But like, again, it all goes back to the theme of control. Maisie decides that the dinosaur's right to survival shouldn't be controlled. And again, she's not really right. She's not really wrong in that regard, because again, this is why admittingly this argument, it's hard to talk about, because not because you can't talk about it, but because, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of people, I think, only look at this from the human side of the argument, which is, the dinosaurs should have all just died, whether it be should have just suffocated and died, either on the island or underneath the Lockwood estate. But again, that's why I feel Maisie is important, because again, the whole theme of control. The dinosaurs have a right to survive as well. People see, we brought these animals back from extinction, and we've always been told that these animals are intelligent living beings, but up until the Jurassic World trilogy, they'd always been painted up as the antagonists of the story. It's always been human good, dino bad. But the Jurassic World trilogy really starts to turn that mentality on its head with the introduction of, Blue the Velociraptor, with her, having traits of empathy and all that stuff. Like Owen's relationship with his raptors, Blue in particular. Because remember, in the first two Jurassic Park movies, the only behavior that the raptors are ever seen displaying is hunting and killing. They don't display any other behavioral traits beyond that. Jurassic Park 3 changed up the formula when we see them, that, the reason they're chasing Alan, the dinosaur shouldn't be alive, neither does Maisie. Well, again, that goes back to, the whole thing of, why that goes hand in hand with the theme of, with this genetic power, we really don't know what the hell we're doing with it. But, as I was saying, with Jurassic Park 3, it changed up the formula a little bit, because the raptors are only chasing Grant and the others because they just want to get their eggs back. So we see them displaying behavior that is not really just about hunting and killing. I mean, yeah, that's what they're doing to the humans, but it's only because they want their young back. And then Jurassic World comes along with Blue and the Raptor Pack with Owen, where man and dinosaur are now acknowledging each other as equals. So again, the Jurassic World trilogy has really been doing its damn hardest, in my opinion, to really progress the series forward, rather than just continuously going around in a merry-go-round circle, like it kind of had been by the end of the first Jurassic Park trilogy, the Jurassic Park trilogy. Precisely. I want to make this clear, guys. I really love having this. I'm really enjoying this conversation. I really am. But again, like I said, Maisie freeing the dinosaurs, yes, there are going to be consequences. But again, that's something that humans in this universe have kind of been dodging. Because remember, by the end of the original novel, it would turn, even though the Costa Rican Air Force ended up destroying Isla Nublar, it turns out that even that really didn't do much good, because it turns out dinosaurs had already been getting off the island and are now loose on the mainland. So it's if anything, like I said, and it all goes back to that lunchroom scene from the first film. All of this stuff is now coming full circle. So it's definitely going to be interesting development. Like I said, Maisie personally, in a way, she kind of acts as sort of the ambassador to the dinosaurs. Like I said, if we're only looking at this from the human side of the argument, which again is natural given that we are human beings, we the audience, I mean, as well as the characters in the universe, then yeah, the dinosaurs should have just died. But Maisie also helps to bring into the realization that the other side of the argument doesn't want to die either. And yeah, dinosaurs and humans are going to now, as we saw in Battle at Big Rock, they're going to be coming in conflict with each other. But again, this is something... Okay, so Lou Dodson, it's clear to see where you stand on this argument. Again, I'm not trying to say you're wrong. Again, I'm not trying to do any of that, but I'm just simply saying why I respectfully disagree. And again, I'm really enjoying this conversation. Come on, guys. Let's not fight. Ooh, I just realized the time. Well, I'm going to end it here for now, guys. But, you know, I'm going to end it here for now, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. And I will catch you all later.